Here's a few pieces I just picked up with a lot of machines I bought. Um, First one there's it's a Greenfield number 7. I cleaned it up. I soaked it in WD-40 and Scotch-Brite pad, and this thing I almost couldn't turn. It's still real stiff. I'm gonna tear it all apart, clean it up. You know, this is this is my first tap wrench. You can see somebody put bars on it, cheater bars. They got it all ruined, but this handle here is a little bit bowed. But I'm gonna clean it up, try to straighten it up, and keep it with my taps. This was in the box. I've cleaned this. This was totally just covered in grease. It's still pretty dirty. But Morse number 2. It's, people call it a quick change. Uh, it's called Securely Jones, and I've seen people using for a quick change tool for a drill, and go up in your arbor or your spindle, go up in your Morse 2 spindle or your drill press, and it's a Morse 2 adapter. I've got a bunch of these, but you'll seat that in there, and it's got ball bearings like a detent, and then they lock together, so you can quick change the drills. People like to use them as a quick change chuck, and they are not, because this is what happens from using it like that. This mostly was designed production. They go, they're doing a lot of drilling. They can set up drills, and then once the machine process is done, they can go change them. Change them and then start them back up. I've seen people leave them run and swap them out, and that ball bearing, those balls in there just get the crap beat out of them, and that's 30-40 thousandths of slop in it. This thing would never drill a good hole anymore. But it was in with what I bought, so I cleaned it up, and I'll hang on to it. I mean, it wouldn't be good for anything. But the Morse, that holds pretty good. But so that was kind of cool. We got these where I used to work on a large scale for a big radial arm drill. That's what the guys do. They do the quick change with them, would leave it run, and I told them they're nuts. But that's pretty cool, and this is awesome. It's my first U.S. made tap wrench. Also got my coveted outside screwball stickers for my wall. So Chuck, thank you very much for sending these to me, and I'll get these on my board here probably today sometime, along with this one. I still haven't put these up. I'll get these up, Dean. Here's a couple tapping heads that were in a box. Etco Tool Company, Brooklyn, New York. That's Etco, ETTCO. And this one, Procounter. Sounds funny trying to say it. Procunier. High-speed tapping attachment. Size number 2. Style E. Says capacity brass 1/2 inch, cast iron 3/8, steel 5/16. And it has a bunch of safety stuff. Pretty neat tag. There's this one, and Etco number 4. Now this one I can't get. I don't know if there's something missing or if this company had their own taps, because any taps I have don't fit up in here, and it's like a little, if I can get it off now, yeah, just like a tapered collet type, but I don't have any taps that fit it. I've got this like a 3/8 style, and then I've got bigger. I've got 3 different sizes, and 2 of them are too loose and another size is too big. So I don't know if this company had their own tap that you had to buy with their head that worked with it. So I don't know. I imagine you stick the bar in there and had a spanner of some kind and draw that up tight, but I don't have anything that fits this. And it's a Morse 1. So man, it all works. I've already spun it, and you pull on it and it spins backwards. So as y'all know how they work. You tap down, and as soon as you release or pull out, it reverses the gear, and then it'll spin it in reverse, and that way you don't basically have to stop. Same with this. This one works a lot better. This one has like drill chuck jaws in it that you spin. Goes up in, loosen up, and then it's got this. You line up with the square. I gotta get. Need like a 1/4 inch square little key, but then like little jaws in there that draw together that hold the square in, and then you draw up the jaws and grabs it. And this one works fine too. So this one here will work. I've got the bars for them. I just don't have them over here. I did clean this up somewhat. You could not see any of this. Both of them were just covered in grease. So I had to look outside. Bandits want to chase a cat. But these are pretty nice little find. I don't think I'm going to keep these. There's a antique tractor show coming up in Portland, Indiana next month, and I think I'll set these out on the table. And try to just recoup a little bit of my money that I spent on the 2 machines. I'll probably sell one of the machines too. Okay, here's my little die filer. I actually tripped over this trying to get around to where the other machine was setting, trying to get around and inspect it, look at it, and then this was laying on the floor right beside it underneath another lathe, and what was this? So he said he didn't know. This kind of came along with it. After talking to him, I dug it out and figured out it was a file machine, and I started doing a little research on it. They're not rare. Well, they kind of are. I mean, once I got to looking, I could find them everywhere. It's just they're never for sale, and if you do see them for sale, you're going to pay up a little bit for them. But it is the All-American Tool Manufacturing Company. This was sold by Do-All. I'll get you a shot of that. It works. It comes with 5 files. There's one in it, and I got 4 other files. There's other files you can get. They go from here up to here. Yeah, you can retrofit bandsaw blades or stuff like that to it. Now, I've seen numerous things guys do with them. They're basically for clock and watch makers. People do real fine work with it. I can't foresee me needing this for anything. I bought it basically to flip it to kind of recoup some of my money from my other machine. So this is for sale. It's going to go to a couple tractor shows that I go to, antique engines and stuff like that, and I'm sure I'll be able to get about top dollar out of it at these shows, so I'm not too worried about trying to sell it on here. You know, I'm not an eBayer or anything like that. I don't even have an eBay account. You know, I do buy on Amazon and Facebook, some Craigslist, but it works. Kind of it's setting a slow speed right now. It's pretty neat how it works. The handle right here. You turn it, and the file speeds up. It's kind of cool with the belt. It's basically 2 belts and a clutch. Around a little bit. Down in here or not. You see the belts. That center one there, it's spring loaded. So when you crank it and you draw tension up on this belt here, it draws it down into the V groove, which forces that belt out on the V groove and speeds that up. So the pulley is moving in and out to loosen or tighten either one of the belts, and it just forces one higher or lower in the V groove. Kind of neat. And right here, this is actually a bellows, and it's broken, which would pump air up to here, and it would blow your chips away. So the bellows is rubber boot is ripped. It will need replaced. I've read on a couple websites, guys using alternative things that are made today to use as the bellows. You can set your table, you can lock it, unlock it, and you can tilt the table. Relock it. These are for adjusting, I think they're for adjusting the bushing inside there on the shaft. It helps this thing run true. The tools for it that I know of reading on, there's like a wrench. It's for adjusting this and a few other things. The tool was gone, and the squaring block, I think it was like 3 or 4 sided with different angles on it, so you could set your file. It was like looked like a V block, but the V's had degrees on them, so you could set the degree of your file. A few attachments aren't with it. It does have the plug-in for it, for the light attachment to the clip-on up here. Yeah, we go up here and then shine down on it. I did clean up this plate. You know, I took a root, scraped all the rust and everything off the razor blade and Scotch-Brite and WD-40. It's a nice little machine. Yeah, I got some indicators I had rebuilt by Mr. Tool Repair Service, Mark Rutasky. You can email him at mrtool2010@hotmail.com. I had 4 of them rebuilt. You can see that video a few videos back when I got a tool lot. I got a few bought from a retired machinist, and I had a few that I picked up at garage sales that were kind of sticky, you know, sketchy. But I got this one from a friend. He threw it out of his CNC machine. Hit the wrong button. He was trying to do something with it, and it took off at several hundred RPM, and it came out and went across the room, and he was about ready to throw it away, and so I'll take it. So for what this cost and what it cost to get rebuilt was a no-brainer. This was the most expensive one to rebuild because this was basically, he had a shell and it was totally rebuilt. You know, the bezel, wherever it hit, you know, this thing, it was dented in, you couldn't turn it, the needle was broke, I mean everything, this thing was just totally destroyed. But you know what these cost, and the cost of this one was around $80 to fully rebuild. So that was a no-brainer to get a test indicator of this caliber rebuilt. This is a 1/2 thousandths, and it works great now and looks brand new. This was in the video, that tool find that I had. Is a 1/2 thousandths Starrett. It didn't work at all. Everything was together, but something internal was wrong with it. So he fixed it, and this really wasn't that bad of a price on that. When you send him whatever you have, he quotes you individual prices on each one. So you can fix what you want or fix them all. The 1/1000ths Federal Testmaster. This would never repeat. This was one of mine. He totally went through it and got that thing back brand new. This old Mitutoyo tense indicator. This would never repeat also. This was, you know, almost a thousandths out. You know, every time you touch it, and it would never go back to the same spot. You know, it was within 1/2 thousandths of returning back to wherever you. So he ripped that apart and cleaned it and fixed it. So that was a good deal. So these 4 here are what, you know, I got back from him, and they're like brand new. This is my other Federal. This is my half thou. So I've got a 1/1000ths and a 1/2 thou Federal. I might send this off. This one works just as well, but it could probably use a cleaning. It's really old. Best Test, Brown and Sharp. I sent a picture of it to Mark, and he said this thing's pretty old. 50 years at least. So it works fine. There is a sticky spot. See, if when I turn the bezel, the needle spins with it, so I don't use it because there's a spot in here on something that it's rubbing on. So I'm going to send this out to him and see if he can put his magic on it. And I've got this Old Ames 10 indicator. It works fine. It's just real slow. I could probably take it apart, but then I'd destroy it if I tried to clean it. So this one probably just needs a cleaning. It just returns really slow. So these two for sure are going back out to him. And he does excellent work. Having 4 of these to replace them is probably close to a few $1,000s to replace these new. Buying these from Starrett and getting an Interrapid, not sure what the Federals cost, but they're still 100 plus, probably 2. Metatoya, 10 indicator, a couple $100 here better or more, 3. To replace them and have them fixed, no brainers. Yeah, I mean all 4 of them. It was a little expensive to me, to the home shop that doesn't use a 10 indicator that much, but I want it fixed. So, and I would never be at a point, at least right now, to go out and buy a brand new one. So having them repaired is the way to go, especially when you're on a budget like what I have for my shop. So Mark, I thank you very much, and you did beautiful work. I probably don't need to say where this came from. Every box opening you see that comes from a black bag very nice little boring bar. I need some little tooling because I got WNMGs and CNMGs, and they're almost 3 times bigger than these, and I try to do light work, and it's hard with the bigger tooling. So I'm going to try some of this stuff. It's like 12 millimeter. Everything I have is 16 millimeter. It's from Banggood. And all these should fit the same tools. It's just these are harder. These are like the Niro or Nero, whatever they call it, like a coating for harder materials, stainless and whatnot. And these are all about the same. It's just different manufacturers, but the same tool. These are probably Drill Pro. I'm not sure what these are. But you know, I've had pretty good luck. For home shop use, they're good. They really are. And for the insert tooling that I got, I think there's still more on the way. It's just, this actually I think came from a hub in California. Then I got some that was being shipped separate. So I got a right and a left, and a boring bar. There's a straight. And I don't remember what else I have coming. I'd have to look. But I'll get these in my newly made tool holders. And covered in oil. There should be a pack of, I think they were a set. Maybe this is the set. I'm thinking I had another set of a different boring bar or something. I don't remember, but I know like one set came with a set of them, and then if you buy so much, you get money off, and then I had credit and points or however it works through Banggood. These should do a pretty good job on some of the little stuff I do, or try to do, I should say. I'm looking forward to that. I might, some of these will definitely be in the next video. Well, not the next video, because you'll see why I ordered these in the next video. But some of the ones I just made. Yep. I knew these were 12 millimeter, and a half inch is a little over 12 mil, so that gives me about the perfect little bit of play in there. I can run them out to that far. Yeah, I'll get them over in the lathe here in the next video or two and give them a try. I'll run a couple of them through their paces and see what it takes to wear them out. Alright.